You getting lost sometimes. You ever daydreaming about something, just forget where you at, man? You be done dozed off into space somewhere. I just did that, man. What's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. Listen, one thing you never hear, we do so many, we spend so much time talking about Eminem and his music and everything like that, that you rarely hear him about how he spends or different things. Like you hear certain people that are either really good with money or really bad. They're in the news or in the tabloids about either filing bankruptcy or doing this because they have these overtly spending habits. Eminem has never been one that I've really ever heard about, and I can only speak for myself, but I've never really heard that much about how he chooses to spend. So when I ran across this video talking about how Eminem spent $250 million, and then another video that says this is how Eminem spends his millions, I was kind of intrigued, because I was like, you never really hear about him like that. He does such a good job of keeping his finances and business moves, because I'm pretty sure Dre, doing Beats by Dre, he soaked up some of that game from Dre as far as smart business moves and different things like that. So I was just pretty curious and intrigued, as I'm pretty sure you guys are if you haven't seen this video. So we're gonna check this out, man, and get a little bit of information on what y'all think M spend is, because everybody has their vices when it comes to money or different things that they have expensive habits of buying. When they become successful. Women, it may be jewelry, it may be clothes, it may be different things like that. Fellas, it may be watches, it may be cars, it may be shoes, it may be whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Either when you first get some money or later on down the line, you kind of OD on something. So let's see what it is Eminem does, man.
Eminem is considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. Even away from his musical ability, his story is one that emphasizes the idolism of rags to riches. It's well known that Eminem had a troubled childhood. Even with a poor start to life, he eventually found a way to carve out a successful career in music. With his hip-hop fame, money was soon rolling in. As such, Marshall Bruce Mathers has made a number of high-profile purchases. Today, we're going to look at what Slim Shady splashed cash on.
I remember that video of him playing Pac-Man, and I hear that Eminem, hey, he pretty nice in the Pac-Man game, in the Pac-Man world. I was never really nice at Pac-Man. Now, Madden, y'all want to play me in some Madden? Y'all drop some of them usernames down there, man, and we can get to it.
Some of which may surprise you. A lot of celebrities will splash out on many big houses. However, Eminem broke the mold. Kinda. In 2003, he bought a mansion in Rochester Hills, Michigan. He spent a whopping $4.75 million on the property. In 2017, Slim Shady decided to sell the mansion, all for the price of $1.9 million, less than half of what he originally paid for it. But due to him selling this abode, we can actually see inside one of Eminem's former residences. It's 17,000 square feet of land with 6 bedrooms. It's also said to have 9.5 bathrooms. There's also a tennis court, a waterfall pool, a guest house with game room, and an entertainment cabana. But he still has one mansion in his arsenal. In 1996, he spent almost $1.5 million on a house in Clinton Township, Michigan.
Why would he spend 4.5 and then sell it for like 1.9? I don't really get that. Like, I know it's pretty hard to resell a mansion, but to lose that much money on it, I might would have had to let it sit on the market for a while. At least, bro. That's a lot of money to lose, but hey, what's small things to a giant?
Little is known about the house except for images taken at the front of the building and an image from above. However, we do know the whole area is 8,900 square feet. Since then, it's been his primary residence. It's definitely a big change from his childhood home in Detroit. Marshall Bruce Mathers III is known for his bling.
Why they keep saying his name like that?
Including watches. But unlike a lot of celebrities, Eminem often sports the variety that isn't out of the price range of 99% of the world. Take this one, the white-colored G-Shock DW6900NB7. Yeah, you heard that right. As highlighted in the music video I Need a Doctor with Dr. Dre and Skylar Grey, this model from 2011 can be hard to track down. However, it tends to be around $99 when it is available. There's also the G-Shock GDX6900MNM1.
Now, see, I respect that. I respect that because that's me right there. That's me. I don't care how much fame, success, amount of money. It's just certain things that I'm probably not gonna be overtly crazy on spending. Just because I have it don't mean I have to spend it. And I ain't gotta go all crazy and spend just because I'm in a certain tax bracket. Nah, man, if I like the G-Shock for $99, that's what I'm gonna get. I don't have to have a Hublot or Audemars or something I don't even know about. Nah, just for what?
It was made in partnership with Eminem in 2013. It was to celebrate the 13th anniversary of the G-Shock line. You can find the model on eBay from upwards of $600. Eminem did spend a little more on his Rolex Datejust. This model can go for around $7,000. However, he doesn't tend to wear it often in fear of it getting scratched. However, it can be found in photo shoots. Along with the most expensive wristwatch in his collection, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar Skeleton 258290R. This stunning pink gold timepiece is valued at around $120,000. After the massive success
Bruh is wearing a house on his arm.
of the Slim Shady LP, Eminem decided to create his own record label, Shady Records. The hip-hop label came into being in 1999. Since then, Shady Records has signed 12 acts at some point over the years, including 50 Cent, D12, and Bobby Creekwater. But setting up a record label from scratch can quickly become expensive. There are many aspects to consider, such as the size of the venture. For a medium-sized venue, the cost of the recording equipment can be as much as $200,000. $200K! That's taking into account technology like microphones, a mixing desk, speakers, and much more. On top of that, there's marketing, which can cost upwards of $4,000. Then there's the facility itself. The cost of leasing a building suitable can be around $150,000. Then another $100,000 to remodel. There are estimates that it could cost at least $350,000 to create a medium-sized record label. But for a large label, it's priced at around $2.5 million. On a smaller scale, it can cost at least $20,000. Considering the longevity of Shady Records, Eminem has probably plowed hundreds of thousands into his business.
I believe
Like we mentioned earlier, Eminem wears a lot of bling. Bracelets, rings, watches, and necklaces have all been worn by the man himself. One of his most famous pieces is the silver triangle pendant necklace. It sparked rumors that Eminem was involved with the mysterious...
I was just about to say, I know they had to say that was Illuminati. Like, people don't... It's like, they never... How do I want to say this, man? Like, they never look past the opportunity to say somebody's an Illuminati. Ever. Soon as I saw that piece, I first thought in my mind was, I know people were going to say he's an Illuminati. Chill.
Illuminati. However, that is not the case. At least we think. It's actually the symbol used in the Alcoholic Anonymous Association. Eminem isn't a stranger to addiction issues. He states that his children have helped him battle the beast. The three sides of the triangle represent unity, service, and recovery. The circle around it represents AA as a whole. The particular necklace that Slim wears is estimated to have cost $100,000. This year, Shady will be 12 years sober. Congrats, Shady. In 2003, Eminem showed the world his generous...
Let's not breeze past that like that ain't a big accomplishment. That is huge. Double salute. You know what I'm saying?
Attitude to money. It happened during a gig in 2003 in London. Eminem chose one fan from the crowd and handed the woman a jewel-encrusted crucifix. Some have stated $300,000. However, Shady himself has spoken about the necklace, and he said that it cost him an enormous $450,000. What celebrity doesn't have a drool-inducing car collection? Eminem is no different in that regard. He has many cars that instantly make a person jealous as they gaze upon the vehicle. One of the cars in his collection is extremely rare. In 2004, Porsche released the Carrera GT, yet only 1,270 were ever made. At the time, they were being sold for around $450,000. Today, that price would be even more. He also has a Ferrari 575 in his garage. This car was only limited to 2,000 units. It's often sold on car selling websites.
Like those are the type of kind of cars you get up in the middle of the night and you walk downstairs and you open the garage door into your garage and just check to make sure they still there, and you just stand there and you admire it. And you sit out there, you watch, you look at it, you get inside of it. You don't want to go nowhere. You just want to embrace the fact that you have that. That's those type of cars. They mentioned it right there, man. Woo!
It's for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Another of his cars is also mentioned in his song Love Me, where he states, 911 Porsche, same color as cranberry sauce. The exact model is the Porsche 911 G.
He didn't say that. 50 Cent said that line. 50 Cent said that line. Stop saying M said that line. 50 said that line.
GT3 RS. It can go for around $200,000. Shady also has a touch of James Bond in his collection. An Aston Martin V8 Vantage. It can reach 100 kilometers in just 3 seconds. This classy motor car is bought for around $150,000. All Bond gadgets sold separately. Back when Shady was purchasing his Rolex, he called his manager to ask if he could afford it. The reason for this is because he wanted to have enough money for his daughter, Haley, to go to college. After all, Eminem wants his kids to have a better life than he did. Haley Jade is well known by Eminem fans as she is regularly referenced in his lyrics, especially in the early days.
They said that wasn't her. I'm starting to think that this video might be a little bit false because you're throwing up some different things, man. It's bringing up some red flags.
College in the US is very expensive. On average, it can cost $30,000 per student per year. For a full 4-year course, it can cost up to $120,000. Without the aid of grants, it can be hellacious to save up that vast amount of money. Well, for Shady, it's even more pricey. Not only does he have his biological daughter Haley, he has also adopted 2 children. Elena is his niece. He took her in when her parents were unable to look after her properly. He also adopted Whitney. She's the daughter of Eminem's ex-wife and another man. With 3 daughters, college alone can cost Shady an eye-watering $360,000. This doesn't even take into account the usual cost that kids can demand every day. In a 2011 interview with Rolling Stone, Eminem dives into his passion for arcade games. He got this love after watching 2007's The King of Kong documentary. This film was all about Steve Wiebe's quest to get the world record in Donkey Kong. Eminem's recording studio lobby has machines for Donkey Kong, Frogger, and Space Invaders, just to name a few. A couple of the machines are signed by Eminem's hero Steve Wiebe himself. These retro machines can cost a lot of money. A restored Donkey Kong machine from 1981 can cost a little under $3,700. 1981's Frogger can cost $3,500. Then Space Invaders, the classic game from 1978, has a price tag of around $3,000 alone. Each of these machines can be upgraded for a cost of an extra $500. Many of the classic games such as Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat can cost as much as $4,000. Eminem doesn't just look at the machines though. He's made attempts at beating the world record for Donkey Kong. Each of the highest scores have the initials MBM, Marshall Bruce Mathers. Newer games don't fuss Slim Shady. He finds them too complicated. He prefers to play the 8-bit marbles. Celebrities, especially musicians, are commonly linked to owning a private plane. Eminem is no such exception. He was reported to be the owner of a private jet. The cost of purchasing a jet can range from $3 million to $90 million. On top of that, there are operational costs that can be between $500,000 and $1 million per year. However, the reports...
Yeah, that's fuel and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure fuel can get rather expensive for them things, man. And then just the upkeep, maintenance, different things like that stuff, you got to think about it. It's well out of our price range.
That Eminem owns a jet turned out to be false. Instead, Slim Shady leases a private plane. Considering the fact that a plane can decrease in value over time, it's probably a good choice to rent instead. However, just because he rents, it doesn't mean he can't demand use of it at any time. In 2018, musician BB Rexha received a phone call from Eminem's manager. They were requesting her talent at the Coachella Music Festival. However, Rexha was busy with other commitments. They sent a private jet to pick Rexha and her family up. Then they arrived in Coachella and met Eminem for the first time before they appeared on stage together. Sounds like Rexha got a pretty great first impression of Slim Shady. Another key element...
Yeah, that's facts, bro. Facts, man. How would you... Like, that's some next level star type stuff right there, man. He stunted on her, to be honest with you. That was a stunt. That was a super stunt. Yeah, I'm busy right now. I'm busy. Nah, I am, like, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to get to you. Like, I want want to help you out, man, but it's hard. Don't worry about it. Don't fret. Calm down. Send a jet. I'm gonna send a jet. Send a jet to come pick you up.
Of Eminem's wardrobe is his sneaker collection. Wherever he goes, you can almost guarantee that he'll be sporting a dashing pair of trainers. In 2004, for the release of Encore, Eminem was gifted a pair of Nike Air Force One lows for him and a few of his friends. These black and gray shoes were custom made to celebrate Shady's records. A pair of these are quoted for going as much as $10,000 online. He was also gifted a white variation of the same shoe. These had been sold for around $2,000 online. In 2005, Eminem was gifted another prized sneaker pair. They were Air Jordan 4 Encores. It's considered one of the rarest Air Jordans in existence. It's rumored that only 50 pairs were originally made. With that, it's no surprise that people selling the sneakers are looking for $40,000. In 2017, Eminem worked with StockX to release more to the public as prizes, but with a catch. Only 23 were ever made, making them even more exclusive than the original release. Of course, some have been sold on the internet for as much as $22,000. Slim Shady has another passion, one that can get very pricey very quickly: comic books. The rapper is no stranger to appearing in comics himself. He appeared in a crossover issue with The Punisher in 2009. In 2013, he was outside his childhood home on a...
So you learned something more about Marshall. We didn't just learn about, you know what I mean? We learned something about him. I didn't know he was in the comics, but it makes sense because some of his videos reflect that. So when you put two and two together, it makes perfect sense.
Variant cover with Iron Man for the Mighty Avengers. That same year, Eminem released Rap God. In the lyrics, he made a reference to Odin, Thor, and Superman. It's not even the only time, though, that he's made a lyrical reference to the world of illustrated pages. Shady has spoken about his love of comics in interviews. He stated that he has a lot of vintage Marvel comics, especially characters involving Spider-Man, Hulk, and DC's Batman. In 2009, Shady Records executive Riggs Morales spoke about what he saw in the collection. He said, Eminem's collection is otherworldly. He has items that aren't even on display at the stores. Morales name drops the amazing Fantasy number 15 is in Shady's collection. That's the issue that Spider-Man first made his appearance. A comic as legendary as this went for over $450,000 at a record-breaking auction. There are even rumors that it's gone for millions elsewhere. It shows us that Eminem is a true believer. And that's it! Which of these big spending entries grabbed your attention the most? Place your thoughts in the comment section down below. Honestly, we're pretty surprised by Eminem's comic love. Who knew? If you enjoyed the...
That's what I said. The comic was actually something that was different.
Video, please share and give us a...
But, yeah. Whatever. Let's keep checking him out. Let's see how he spends his money.
This is the Motor City. And this is what we do.
He's one of the world's most popular rappers, has been nominated for 43 Grammy Awards, and has won 15.
Y'all heard that correctly? 43 Grammy noms? 43? Sheesh! Can I just get one nomination? And we don't really care about the Grammys anyway, but 43 is still a lot, bro.
And he's even won an Oscar. Not many celebrities out there can say they've achieved quite the level of fame that Slim Shady has.
I can!
And with a net worth of $190 million, he's shown time and time again that it's possible to lose yourself, clean out your closet, and prove that you're not afraid to still come out on top. The real Slim Shady might have millions in the bank, but he's spending them in a rather surprising way.
I hate my stepdad. Just thinking about songs from the album, man.
Make sure to stick around until the end to hear about this rapper's love of vintage arcade games. If you've listened closely to Eminem's lyrics, you'll know by now that he grew up in Detroit, Michigan. Unlike many stars...
Nah, I didn't know that, bro. Like, no. What, M grew up in Detroit? Say word.
who leave their hometowns as soon as financially possible, Eminem decided to set up camp in Detroit for good, and that's where you'll find him to this day. This rapper used to own 2 mansions in Detroit until he sold one of them for a hefty sum. Eminem's first house is in Clinton Township. The 8,900 square foot home was built in 1996, but Eminem purchased it in September 2000 for $1,483,500. But even though Eminem lived in his Clinton Township home for the majority of the time, he decided to buy an even bigger Rochester Hills mansion that served as his occasional getaway.
They told us this in the last video. Tell us something new.
This 17,000 square foot estate is also known as the Kmart Mansion because its former owner was Charles Conway, the previous chairman of Kmart. It sits inside a...
Now that I did not hear. I did not hear the Kmart guy. Like, what is it about us that does that? Like 50 brought, was it Evander Holyfield's old house that time? Like, what is up with us in doing that?
The Cure compound and includes 6 bedrooms and 9.5 bathrooms. Each bedroom is a suite. The outdoor space is just as stunning and includes many amenities like tennis courts, a waterfall pool, a spa, and an entertainment cabana, and a guest house with its very own game room. We're just waiting for an invitation. We'd be here all day if we talked you through every single one of Eminem's cars, because this rapper hasn't held back when it comes to fancy wheels, and he's certainly a bit of a gearhead. Eminem,
All right, they told us that.
including the prestigious 571 you won't see on the streets very often. Then there's his Ford GT, Audi R8 Spider, and the Porsche 911 GT3 RS 4.0. And who could resist buying another Porsche? Eminem loved the GT3 so much, he went out and purchased the faster model of the 911, the GT2 as well. This car alone is valued...
Man, I think this video is pretty much the same thing. The same thing pretty much. So we're gonna cut the video right there, man. I don't know how 2 videos on the same channel put out the same exact video. That's crazy. But either way, listen, man, y'all get at me and let me know what y'all think. Was this a surprise or a shock to y'all? I think the comic book side did kind of shock me, but it makes sense when you look at his videos. I kind of was aware of the video game aspect. Like I said, it was one of those ones where we was waiting on him to respond to somebody, and they put up a clip of him playing Pac-Man. And he was just sitting there playing while everybody in the world was at a standstill, and we were waiting on him to drop a response track to somebody. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was, I forgot who it was. But anyway, so some of those things I already knew, but like I said, the comic book thing was definitely new. So y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what y'all think, or don't. You don't have to bump y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. It is what it is. It's your boy L. To the next reaction, man. I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay solid. Hey.